Hey everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm going to do a breakdown of my makeup application today. The only difference is between my makeup application and I think most people's makeup is that I use an airbrush. So if you're interested later, please subscribe and I will show you how to apply makeup with an airbrush. You can do the same thing with your regular foundation. I just like the airbrush because it is a really even application and nothing touches the skin as much, so it's a lot cleaner, and I just like the effects. So I will post a video later on how to use the airbrush if you're interested in that, but otherwise use your regular foundation how you do it, and this is just a breakdown of my makeup application plus the airbrush. So please subscribe and enjoy. Thanks. So the first thing I'm going to use is my Mary Kay concealer. I have several favorites, but I like this one the most. It looks like this. Black tube and it's yellow. I have a lot of friends, as you can see. I say a lot. Sorry, it's something I have to work on. So I am going to get a small brush if I can find it. Where'd it go? Found it. Okay. So this is the makeup brush that I like to use to just put on the concealer. I put this on with this brush and then I blend it in with another brush. So I'm just going to find my little friends here, dab it on, and I need a lot because I have a lot of red pigment and a lot of acne that has just never gone away. 24, you'd think that would go away, but it doesn't. So just put that on everywhere. Find all my little spots. It's really cute. I look like I have chicken pox or something. And if you don't have a brush, you can do this with your fingers. Try to wash your hands first though, because you're going to be putting, if you use your fingers, you're going to be putting extra oils onto your skin that could make you break out more. So now, now I'm going to be using this brush. It's a foundation brush, but I like that way that it spreads in the concealer. So now I'm going to use this in. And for under the eyes, I always dab and kind of go in a side sweeping motion and then dab it down so that I don't have a dramatic line and it blends down to my cheekbone. And I'm just going to blend those spots in to get rid of my red areas. Under the eye, sweeping, and downward. And I'm just dabbing and pulling slightly. And of course around the nose it seems like it's always red there. And that took out a lot of the red tones in my skin. There are still some, so I could go back in and put more if I wanted, but I know that my foundation is going to cover that. So I'm just going to leave it. And I always clean my makeup brush after I use it, every time. So I have a Mary Kay brush cleaner and I also have Napoleon brush cleaner. Honestly, any brush cleaner will work just as well. All I do is get the brush and spray it on. And then I get a clean cloth like this. I prefer a wet wipe because the cloth it may not always be clean or it could have lint on it or something and you're just putting it back into the brush. So I prefer a wet wipe, but I just grabbed a clean cloth for the sake of the video. So, and then I just rub it in a circular motion and a sweeping motion to go with the bristles of the brush so that I'm not ruining the brush when I do this. And I'm just kind of scrubbing it lightly. And I do this after every application so that no bacteria is building up onto my brush. I used to use a sponge when I applied my makeup, and I didn't know that you needed to throw it away after 2 or 3 uses of it. So I used the same sponge for a really long time, and my acne was always really bad. And it did never occur to me that it was because the sponge was just a nesting ground for the bacteria. So I tried to be very clean with all of my brushes. So I do clean in between every application. Okay, so then the next step is my primer. Actually, I should have put that on first before my concealer, so sorry. Just pretend I did, but I'm going to put it on now. So I use the airbrush, but you can do this. I actually also have a primer that's not airbrush. It's honestly just something that I picked up at the drugstore, but I use airbrush primer. This is what I love. It's the, I don't know how to say it, so sorry, but I say Velocio. I don't know if that's right, but I use all of their foundations and primers and everything, and it's just wonderful. And if you're interested more in the airbrush, like I said, I will post a separate video of that. But I am going to apply my primer the way that I normally do. So I'm just going to put this on really quick. Okay. That's my primer. Now, if you're not sure on how to match your foundation, a lot of people, there are several ways to do it, but my way of doing it is matching it on the jawline. Only because your skin on your wrist and anywhere else on your body could be a different color due to tanning or anything else, which is a common thing. A lot of people match it on the wrist. So I match it on the jawline because I want the most accurate skin color of my face. However, some people do match it to their neckline or the wrist so that it matches the rest of them. I don't tan. I'm very white all over. I'm pretty, you know, pretty much the same all over. So if I match it to my jawline, it's not going to be a dramatic change. So what you do is you find a foundation that you think might be what yours is, and you just put it on your jawline like this and rub it in. And if it blends in with your skin, you found your match. And you see mine did. You can't even really tell where it's at. So that's my match. I use the vanilla shade from the Velocio, if that's how you say it. Sorry if I'm butchering it. So again, airbrush, but you can do the same thing with your regular foundation, and I will do another video if there's interest on applying foundation with cream or liquids. Just let me know. So I'm going to apply my foundation. And with foundation, it's a little different. So you do kind of have to eyeball it and look at where you might not have gone as heavy as one area. So it is a blending game, but it's very user-friendly. The next thing that I do is my my powder, and that I like that because the airbrush, since it is a liquid, it can be kind of shiny you know, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it can be pretty shiny. So I like the powder because it just makes that a little less dramatic. Personally, I like the Mary Kay. I use Ivory 2 for my shade. And I get a firm but fluffy brush to blend in. I got this brush at Ulta, and I just love it to death. It is cute, it's pink, and it's really fluffy and soft. Can't get better than that. So I just dab the powder on. If there's too much, I just blow the excess off so that there's not too much sitting on my skin. Of course, you can blend it in if you need to. Then I just go in and lightly dab it around my face in sweeping motions. And I do go down onto my neckline. I drag it down so that I don't have a makeup line on my face. I want it to look as natural as possible. Okay. Now this is where I would go in with my blush or my bronzer, or both. I like to use both. So the first thing that I do is my bronzer. I have several different bronzers. My favorite is actually a drugstore bronzer so far that I bought. It's Rimmel. I picked it up actually at Ulta though, but I know they sell it other places. And I just love it because it's so deep and pigmented. So what I do is I'm dabbing it on. I'm using the same brush that I used for my powder. I'm dabbing it on, and I'm going to follow the natural line of my jaw. I'm going to, one way to do it, to find your line, is to kind of make the kissy face. So, like that. And it's not really a kissy, it's more of a fish face. So I'm going to make the fish face, and I'm going to follow that line. And I'm going to go up and down in a sweeping motion. Like that. And I'm going to eyeball it and see how much I want. Everybody's preference is going to be different, whether you want a more bold look or a more natural look. And then I always look at myself in the mirror, straight on, and kind of compare to see if I have it pretty even on both sides. And then I do like to go in, this is just my personal way of doing it. I like to go in with a little bit of blush. I am using Napoleon, and I just absolutely love it. And it has a bunch of different colors inside of it. It's really fun. So I just circle it around, and I go underneath my bronzer just a tiny bit. With that, I just added a little extra pink to it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off my brush so that I get that extra color off. And then I'm going to blend it, so that I don't have any lines of color on my face and it looks more flush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smaller brush. This is actually the contouring brush. And this is by the Lano company. And I just love all of their brushes. So I'm going to use my bronzer. This is just how I contour. I'm going to use my bronzer and put a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to go up the bridge of my nose. And just downward sweeping motions, a tiny bit on the very bottom. And a little bit on my jawline. And I'm just, like I said, I'm following the natural bones bone structure in my face. And then I look at it, see if I need a little more. And I'm happy with that application, so then I would move on. Now this is all I'm going to do for this video. I am going to post other videos. I have requests for eyebrows and eyeshadow applications. So please subscribe and come view my videos. If you have any questions, please email them to me or message me, comment on my videos, let me know, and I would love to help you. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.